Hi everyone, my name is Brooke Armendariz. Today I'm going to talk about the history of the field of interpreting in America. So first we're going to talk about just some ASL. It was not recognized as a language until William Stoke published the first linguistic study about American Sign Language in 1964. People saw ASL as a corrupt visual code for spoken English or an elaborate pantomime. People call sign language interpreting a new profession, but really it's been around for a long time and has been practiced, but it just came to light more recently. According to interpreter educator Dennis Coakley, the earliest interpreters were children of deaf adults, other family members, members of religious organizations, or community groups who worked with deaf or hard of hearing people. Most sign language interpreting situations are related to community. So most of them will be interpreting for deaf people when they need to interact with authorities, when they want access to services, personal interactions, essentially anything. Interpreting was rarely compensated and was not considered to be a full job, an occupation, or a profession. It is considered to be a contribution to the community. So now I'm going to talk about interpreting in the United States of America. So RID came out June 14th through the 17th in 1964 at a workshop that was made to help formal and structured foundation for the training of interpreters to upgrade their services and support to people who are deaf or hard of hearing. Back in the day, to become RID certified, you just needed a vouch from 2 existing members and to demonstrate personal connections in the process. So RID expanded too much and there's too much of a demand for interpreters, so they began to do national testing in 1972. 1978, the Course Interpreters Act. In 1990, Americans with Disability Act further expanded the mandate for interpreters for everybody, to whether it be school, medical, anything that they need interpretation for, they will have the right to ask for one. In the 20th century, the status of a profession for the occupation requires now more specialized training, knowledge, and skills to have proper confidentiality and a good code of ethics. So currently, the United States Department of Labor has labeled interpreting as one of the fastest growing professions in the United States. So how services work, there's many different fields of interpreting. You can do education, healthcare, mental health, VRI, VRS, performing arts, religious, legal, oral, deaf or blind. ASL can be at a distance or up close. Person. Usually it can be also an interpreter can be a family, a friend, someone who is actually certified. So it could be someone through a phone screen, from an agency, or someone who does freelance work. So there's also 2 different types of interpreting. Conference, where it's kind of more political, or someone's talking, doing a speech, that sort of thing, where it's a wide group. And then next that you mainly hear is community, because it's for little to no special training. You just do it usually with friends, family, and for minor things. Next, we're going to talk about just how interpreting changed over time. So essentially, I found this quote from Lou Font. He is an RID biographer and explained that the interpreter scene scenario prior to 1964 was so vastly different than what it exists today that it is a strain on the imagination to contemplate it. We did not work as interpreters, but rather volunteered our services as our schedule permitted. They didn't want any compensation. It was freely given and happily accepted, but not as expected. So now it seems like, since kind of the government has played a bigger role in educational programs for professionalism, the connection between interpreting and disability legislation and mandated service provision deaf people lost what they call the gatekeepers to their own language. It started to become something that's snowballing, and they don't have full control of it anymore. There's also tension between community and profession interpreters. People who just do it for free, they don't do it for a living. There is some type of friction there. And then, although olive oil interpreters prefer, excuse me, I have a really dry mouth today. So in the first decade of the 21st century, deaf participants, they said that they preferred evolved interpreters rather than schooled interpreters. So you can still just see a difference from back then. It's just a very big disconnect, and those are just some things that have happened over time. And then here's my reference page. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to go ahead and leave them down below. Sorry.